I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who suspects his wife of cheating. Not us. We had what I thought was a solid marriage, 10 years, no kids, no big fights. Just routine, comfort, and trust. But then, things started to feel off. It began with little things. She'd get defensive when I asked about her day. She started guarding her phone like it was a ticking bomb. I noticed she was working late more often, but when I asked, she'd say it was just extra projects. One night, I caught a glimpse of a message popping up on her screen, "Can't wait to see you again tonight." My heart stopped. Was this just some work thing? Or was my perfect marriage a lie? I knew I couldn't keep living in this fog of doubt. So, I started watching. One evening, she said she was going out with friends. But I tracked her phone, and it wasn't anywhere near the bar she mentioned. Instead, it led me to a hotel downtown. I waited in my car, heart pounding, mind racing. And then I saw her, walking hand in hand with a man I didn't know. They looked happy. That moment shattered everything. Who was he? How long had this been going on? I was terrified, but also angry. And confused. I knew this was only the beginning. After that night, everything changed. I confronted her the next day, hoping for some explanation, some mistake. But she just laughed it off, told me I was being paranoid. Said it was nothing, just some guy from work. But I wasn't stupid. I checked her phone again, dug deeper, and found more messages, secret plans, hidden meetings, lies stacked on lies. Every excuse she gave just felt thinner. She was living a double life, and I was the last to know. One evening, she finally broke. Maybe it was guilt. Or maybe she just got tired of hiding. She told me everything. The affair started months ago, at first just innocent talks with a coworker, but then it turned into something more. She said she didn't want to hurt me. She claimed she still loved me, but that she felt trapped and needed something different. I was shattered. How do you process a confession like that? How do you face the woman you trusted with your whole life, knowing she betrayed you? After her confession, part of me wanted to believe it was a mistake, a phase. But another part screamed that I couldn't trust anything she said anymore. I kept replaying every moment, every word, wondering how much was real and how much was a lie. She begged for forgiveness, said she wanted to fix us. But trust? That was broken, shattered like glass on the floor. I couldn't just sit and wait. I started digging, checking her emails, social media, even following her sometimes. I wanted proof, clarity, answers. What I found shocked me. Not just one man, but several. Secret texts, late-night calls, hidden accounts. It wasn't just a fling, it was a pattern. My wife was living a secret life I never imagined. The days after my discoveries felt like I was living in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Every time she walked into the room, my heart raced with a mix of anger, sadness, and disbelief. How could the woman I loved so deeply betray me like this? I stopped sleeping properly. I'd lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying memories and searching for signs I missed. One afternoon, I found myself sitting in our living room, holding her phone in my hands, scrolling through messages I never wanted to see. There was one thread that caught my eye. It wasn't just casual flirting. It was planning secret getaways, dinners, even future vacations. I realized then that this wasn't just about passion or a mistake. It was about a life I didn't know she was living. I confronted her again, my voice trembling with rage and pain. I can't keep living like this, I said. You need to decide, me, or them. She looked at me with cold eyes and said, I don't know if I can choose anymore. That was the moment everything fell apart. Word got out. Some of our closest friends noticed the tension, the silence between us, the forced smiles. I wasn't ready to talk, but whispers and rumors spread fast. Some took her side, saying people make mistakes, that relationships aren't perfect. Others looked at me with sympathy, telling me to stay strong. I felt isolated in a crowd, betrayed not just by my wife, but by the people I trusted. One friend pulled me aside and said, "You deserve better, man. Don't let her break you." I wasn't sure what I deserved anymore. Was this the end of our story? Or just the beginning of a painful chapter? That night, everything exploded. I came home earlier than usual, heart heavy with dread. The house was eerily quiet. I found her in the bedroom, packing a bag. "Where are you going?" I asked, voice barely steady. She didn't look up. "I need space. Time to think." "Think? After everything you've done? How can you just walk away?" She snapped back, anger flashing in her eyes. "Maybe I don't want this anymore. Maybe I never did." The words hit me like a punch. I shouted back, begging, pleading, but the more I tried, the more walls she built. It felt like I was losing her piece by piece, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Days turned into weeks. She moved out, leaving the house cold and empty. I was left alone with my thoughts, and a crushing loneliness. Friends stopped calling. Conversations felt forced. I realized I had become a ghost in my own life, drifting through days without purpose. At night, I'd lie awake, wondering if I'd ever feel whole again. The betrayal wasn't just from her. It was from the life we built together, now a ruin. And the hardest part? Not knowing if I could ever trust again. I remember the exact moment when everything inside me just broke. I was sitting alone at our kitchen table, the same table where we once planned vacations, birthdays, our future. Now, it was just me and an empty chair opposite. Tears came without warning, and for the first time, I let myself feel the full weight of betrayal. How did it come to this? I whispered to no one. I replayed our last conversations, her excuses, the lies. Every smile, every touch suddenly felt like a mask. The nights grew longer, filled with memories and regrets. I stopped answering calls. I stopped going out. I was trapped in a cycle of pain I couldn't escape. Just when I thought I was completely alone, something unexpected happened. A coworker, someone I barely knew, reached out. "Hey, man. Heard about what you're going through. If you ever want to talk, I'm here." At first, I ignored the message. But loneliness is a powerful thing. One night, I replied. That conversation was the first lifeline I grasped. We talked for hours, about pain, betrayal, and slowly, about healing. It wasn't a magic fix, but it was a start. For the first time, I felt like maybe, just maybe, I could find a way back to myself. Weeks passed, and I stood at a crossroads. Do I fight to save what was left of our marriage, or do I finally accept that some things can't be fixed? She wanted me to meet her halfway, to forgive, to try couples therapy, to start fresh. But how do you rebuild trust on a foundation made of lies? One evening, we sat across from each other in a quiet cafe. She looked vulnerable, almost pleading. "I still love you," she said. "I want to make this work." I wanted to believe her so badly. But deep down, a voice whispered that this was just the start of another betrayal waiting to happen. I had to choose, my heart or my sanity. That night, I stayed awake for hours, wrestling with my thoughts. I remembered the good times, our laughter, our dreams, our promises. But I also remembered the pain, the lies, the endless nights of doubt. In the end, I realized some love isn't enough. I called her the next morning. "I'm done," I said. "I need to find myself again." There was silence on the other end. Then a quiet, resigned, "I understand." It was the hardest goodbye I ever had to say. But it was also the first step toward healing. The days that followed were the darkest I'd ever known, but also the beginning of something new. I threw myself into therapy, started running again, and slowly rebuilt my life piece by piece. Some nights, the pain still hit me like a tidal wave. But with every sunrise, I grew stronger. I learned that healing isn't about forgetting, it's about accepting. Accepting that people change, that love can hurt, but that I'm not broken. I'm still here. And this time, I'm choosing me. Because sometimes, the hardest betrayals lead to the strongest comebacks.